A student's overview of the ageless wisdom was carefully compiled from the following books by Alice A. Bailey. A Treatise on Cosmic Fire. Esoteric Psychology, Volumes 1 and 2. Esoteric Healing. Esoteric Astrology. The Rays and the Initiations. Students are encouraged to download the free PDF version of this overview by following the link in the video's description, or to order a printed copy at cost from thebookpatch.com, but are advised to read the original, unabridged books in order to gain deeper insight into the ageless wisdom. Students are also invited to join our online study group at facebook.com/groups/students of the ageless wisdom. Chapter 11, A Treatise on Cosmic Fire. The egoic ray and solar fire. The nature of the egoic, or causal body. This subject will primarily interest three types of students: those who are interested in the true psychology, or in the evolution of the psyche, those who are on or nearing the path and hence are coming into more contact with their ego, and those who work with the souls of men, the servers of the race. The reason for this is because, in the due comprehension of this subject, that of the ego functioning in the causal body, comes the ability to work scientifically with the problem of one's own evolution, and to do good work in aiding the evolution of one's brother. Egoic manifestation is produced through the medium of two fires. In all manifestation there is duality producing triplicity. Spirit meets and contacts matter, resulting in the birth of the sun, or the ego, the consciousness aspect. The egoic manifestation is the middle aspect, the place of at-one-ment and of eventual equilibrium. We are concerned with the process of making man the perfect six-pointed star, the threefold personality and the threefold triad merged and perfectly produced through the intermediate point, the causal body. When the physical body is eliminated, man becomes the five-pointed star, or perfected Manasapatra. In terms of fire, the causal body is produced by the positive life of spirit, electric fire, meeting the negative fire of matter, fire by friction, causing a blazing forth of solar fire which serves to burn up the third fire, or absorb it into its essence, and is itself eventually blended with the fire of spirit and passes out of objective display. Egoic manifestation is produced at individualization. The causal body, that sheath of mental substance, is formed at the moment of individualization by the contact of the two fires. The force that pours through the higher planes of the monad produces a vacuum, and the sheath of the causal body, the ring pass knot of the central life, is formed. Within this sheath are to be found three permanent atoms: the mental, astral and physical. They correspond individually to the seventh principle of each of the three persons of the microcosmic triad, a reflection of the logoic trinity. The causal sheath serves three purposes. 1. It separates one unit of egoic consciousness from another, yet is itself part of the gaseous body, fifth cosmic physical subplane, in the physical body of the planetary logos, who is the central life of any particular group of monads. 2. It holds hid spiritual potentialities in its inherent ability to respond to the higher vibration. The life within steadily develops these and produces certain results by the utilization of the three permanent atoms. 3. It gradually vivifies and awakens them until, on the three planes, the central life has an adequate point of contact which can originate the necessitated vibration in the matter of the plane. The nature of the permanent atoms. The purpose of the permanent atoms. Permanent atoms on each plane serve a fourfold purpose as regards the central, or egoic life. A. They are distributors of a certain type of force. B. They are the conservers of faculty or ability to respond to a particular vibration. C. They are the assimilators of experience and the transmuters of that experience into quality. D. They hold hid the memory of the unit of consciousness, and when fully vibrant, they are the reason for continuity of consciousness of the man functioning in the causal body. The mental permanent atom is found in logoic gaseous matter, the astral in logoic liquid, and the physical atom in the dense physical plane. As each unit of consciousness, through self-induced effort, achieves the goal and crosses the burning ground, a microcosmic portion of the etheric web of the planetary etheric body is consumed by fire. This results in a definite gain for that great entity, a planetary logos, through the relatively unimportant liberation of one cell in his body. When all the units of cells in his body have achieved, he too is set free from dense manifestation, and physically dies. This stage is succeeded by the comparatively brief one of etheric existence, covering the period of the obscuration of the vehicle, and then he is liberated from incarnation altogether. Each of the 7 rays, viewed in connection with the causal bodies of men, demonstrates as a unity on the first plane, a triplicity on the second, monadic, and as 7 on the third, atmic, which form the 49 groups which most concern evolving man. In the course of his many septenary lives, and as the cyclic 7s pass over him, man passes under the influence of the 7 subrays of his own ray. Then he begins to synthesize and merge the 7 into the major 3 subrays, thus returning to unity on his own egoic ray. A. The septenary status governs the time from individualization till he enters upon the path. B. The threefold status governs the time up till the 3rd initiation. C. He achieves the unity of his ray by the 5th initiation, and is then consciously a part of the body of the heavenly man. The same idea can be worked out in connection with the awakening of the life forces within the permanent atoms, viewing each atom as the 7th principle in each of the 3 aspects of the personality. The place of the permanent atom in the egoic body. End of page 52. A. The astral permanent atom in this solar system is the recipient of a great flow of force or energy, and receives more stimulation than the others for the following reasons. 1. The center of polarization for the 4th, human, kingdom is in the astral consciousness, viewing this kingdom as a unity. 2. The goal set before humanity is that of becoming conscious units in the body of the dragon of love wisdom. This a man achieves when he can function consciously in the Buddhic vehicle, or when the astral permanent atom is superseded by the Buddhic permanent atom. 3. The second aspect of the Logos, the manifestation of the love nature of the Logos through the medium of the Sun, is the one demonstrated in this system, for the following reasons. A. This system is a sun of necessity, or of desire. B. It is vibrant to the key of the cosmic ray of love. C. The form through which this ray is expressing itself. Duality, it is governed by the law of attraction, the monads of love are the dominating quality. 4. Our solar system forms the center in the cosmic body of the one greater than our solar logos, equivalent to that of the heart center. all within the solar ring pass not are parts of that vast cosmic heart center, the petals in the lotus. This force, when rightly directed and properly controlled, is the great transmuting agency which will make man a master of the wisdom and a lord of love. 5. This solar system is interpenetrated by his astral body, as is the case with a human manifestation. As the Logos is polarized in his cosmic astral sheath, and has not yet attained cosmic mental polarization, his force or desire nature is the main incentive for the subjective life and lives that underlie that form. Therefore, it is necessary to bear in mind the relative importance of the astral permanent atom, the second aspect, of the personality within the causal periphery, and to remember that the force which flows through that atom, and is the animating force of the astral body, is following the lines of least resistance and might be considered as bearing upon his physical manifestation in a manner twice as strong as that reaching him through the other two. B. The atomic triangle. The causal sheath is a sphere of vibrant living substance containing 3 fiery points. At the heart is a central blaze of light, emitting 7 rays, which play upon these points or circles, analogous to the electrons, and produce effect upon the astral permanent atom. The physical permanent atom has a position relatively close to the center, and the force plays through it, and passes on to the astral permanent atom in the form of 5 rays of parti-colored light, which blend with the vivid hue of the astral permanent atom, and increase its intensity until the blaze appears as if the 2 points blended, or the electrons merged, thus producing such intensity of light that they are seen as dissolving. The mental unit, having a position within the causal body analogous to the planet furthermost from the Sun, becomes vibrant likewise, and the 2 other points, now considered as one, begin to interact with the mental unit. A similar process is pursued until these 2 points, circulating around their positive center, also approach each other, blend, merge and dissolve. The center of positive life gathers, or synthesizes, the 3 points, and thus the 3 fires of the personality repeat on their tiny scale the microcosmic procedure as seen in the synthesis of electric fire, solar fire and fire by friction until only a single blazing unit is left. This unit burns up the causal body and escapes back onto the planes of abstraction. Thus man is the path itself, and also the pilgrim upon the path. Thus does he burn, but is also the burning ground. The analogy holds true, as the same process is used on cosmic levels. End of page 53. The spirale and the egoic ray. The spirale within the permanent atom are to be considered as a. The interior economy of the life germ on the 3 planes which concern man. B. As the 7th principle in each of the 3 sheaths. C. As the positive nucleus of force which holds the matter of the 3 sheaths together. A. The composition of the permanent atom. The permanent atom of the physical and astral planes is a sphere of atomic matter and is characterized by the following qualities. I. Responsiveness, its inherent power to respond to the vibration of one of the heavenly men as it is transmitted via the Deva, or Brahma aspect, of his threefold nature. The permanent atom finds its place within the sphere of influence of one or other of the Raja Lords of a plane. 2. Form-building power. These devas sound forth 2 syllables of the threefold microcosmic word and are each the coherent agency which gathers substance into form, and attracts matter for the purpose of objectivity. The astral sound produces the microcosmic sun of necessity, and when it reverberates on the physical plane, it produces physical incarnation and the sudden appearance on etheric levels of the seven centers. 3. Relative permanency. In the seventh principle of all manifesting entities is stored up and developed capacity, acquired ability, and the atomic memory, the physical and astral heredity of the thinker. 4. Heat. Herein lies the distinction between the permanent atoms on all planes, and the atomic matter of which they form a part. The distinction between the permanent atom and atomic matter may be tabulated as follows. The permanent atom is one that has been appropriated by one of the lives that form the centers in the body of a solar lord, whilst atomic matter goes to the formation of other parts of his great body of light. A permanent atom has come under the attractive power of the second aspect, whilst atomic matter is vitalized only by the life of the third aspect. 2. A permanent atom follows the line of least resistance to force, and is passing out of the control of the Devil Lord and under the control of positive life, and is the evolution of conscious in substance. 3. A permanent atom comes under the direct control of the lower of the three groups of Lipika lords, and is the agency through which they impose karma upon the unit. B. The planes and fiery energy. Analogies can be observed on each plane of the solar system, with the 7 subplanes. C. The 3 fires. 1. Electric fire demonstrates as the prime condition of the higher 3. 2. Solar fire, showing forth as the blaze produced by union on the central plane. 3. Fire by friction as the most significant factor on the lower 3. A man's monad can be studied in its threefold essence on its own plane, his egoic aspect likewise, and the Brahma aspect of the ego is found within the permanent atoms. When man has found out how to contact and utilize positive solar electricity in combination with negative planetary electricity, it will result in a very dangerous condition and will eventually manifest in the destruction of the fifth root race by fire. It must be remembered that this cleavage will be a part of the natural process, and not a drastic ruling imposed upon an unwilling people. The knowers and the students of the knowledge, actuated by group consciousness and working consciously, will separate into group formation from those who know not and from those who care not. This will be temporary with a fundamental view of an eventual merging, and will mark the line of demarcation between the lower 4 and the upper 3, and concerns those under the influence of the solar lords and those by the lunar lords. End of page 54. The fundamental difference between the mental unit and the other 2 atoms consists in the fact that it contains only 4 spiralae instead of 7, for the mental unit is the first aspect of the personality triad. At his transference into the spiritual kingdom, these 3 aspects, the mental, astral and physical bodies, are synthesized into the higher by a dual process. A. His polarization shifts from out of the lower 3 atoms into the triadal atoms. B. The force which these atoms generate and embody is merged and blended into the higher force points. Negative force forms a receptacle for positive force. Atoms are but force centers, and the chakra centers are but aggregates of force which have reached a specific point in evolution, and are responding to the first great aspect, electric fire. Until a man is coming consciously under the control of the ego and is beginning to sense the vibration of the manasic permanent atom, it is useless equals to expect him to respond to certain ideals, or to grasp certain aspects of truth, for the mental unit suffices for his need, and no bridge exists between it and the manasic permanent atom. Summary. 1. The four lower spiralae are definitely under the influence of the personality ray. 2. The fifth and sixth spiralae are more specifically under the egoic ray. 3. The fifth spiralae synthesizes the lower four and vibrates to 5 types of force. 4. The spiralae are literally 10 in number, 3 major and 7 minor. 5. The permanent atoms are not heart-shaped, but a certain number of atoms are of that type, but they are not the permanent atoms, which are more definitely spheroidal and slightly flattened at the top where the correspondence to the polar depression may be found. 6. The arrangement of the spiralae within the permanent atoms varies on each plane. 7. The closer the approach to reality, the simpler the streams of force show a subtinary arrangement in the lower 3 permanent atoms of man, while the higher 3 contain but the 3 major spiralae. 8. There are but 6 permanent atoms connected with human evolution, 5 with a heavenly man and only 1 in the solar system. 9. It should be remembered that we are dealing with a physical incarnation of these great entities, and that their permanent atoms, with the exception of the physical, are extrasystemic. 10. The causal body of the heavenly men is upon the 3rd subplane of the cosmic mental plane, while that of the solar logos, and those of the 3 persons of the logoic trinity, are upon the 1st subplane. 11. The permanent atoms of men are upon the atomic subplane of each plane, with the one exception of the mental unit. Those of the animal groups are upon the 2nd subplane, the vegetable upon the 3rd and the mineral upon the 4th. There is, therefore, a close analogy between these focal points of force of the group and a chain, a globe and a round, and in their due application comes enlightenment. 12. As the permanent atoms become radioactive in due course of evolution, the result within the center is a marked increase in vibration. 13. The permanent atoms concern solar entities when they are found on or above the higher mental, and concern lunar entities on the lower mental, the astral and physical planes. It should be noted that in this solar system, the following entities manifest through a. 1 permanent atom, the physical, solar logos, the 3 major rays, the 7 heavenly men, the 49 regents of the planetary chains. b. 2 permanent atoms, the physical and astral, the 7 lords of the globes in every chain, the 49 root manus, the 77 embodiers of form, a group of solar lords of the first ray, and certain of the avatars, selected by the logos to further the evolution of the psyche. End of page 55. C. 3 permanent atoms, the physical, astral and mental. 1. The lords of the 3rd kingdom, who are the 7 entities whose bodies are made up of animal souls, just as the heavenly men embody of man the Buddhic principle, so these lords embody for the animal kingdom the manasic principle, which is the goal of the evolutionary process for them. 2. Certain great entities who embody a whole range of existences upon 5 of the planets, of which Earth is not one, but who in due course of time will be recognized as having a powerful effect upon man on the Earth, via the Buddhas of activity. the mystery of the close connection existing between the Earth and Mercury. 3. The entities who are the sum total of those group souls who contain definite permanent triads. 9 triads constitute the body of one of these entities. D. 4 permanent atoms, the physical, astral, mental and Buddhic. 1. 8 groups of solar entities who form the subjective life of the 7 centers in the body of Brahma, dissociated from his 2 brothers, and the 7 sons of Fohat. 2. That entity who words through the form of the planetary hierarchy, using it as his body of manifestation and regarding it as the center through which his force can flow. All groups on every plane form a vehicle for the life of a greater individual. 3. A number of solar deities who are the radiators of solar magnetism, and the life of form. 4. Those beings connected with a certain constellation and the lesser dragon, who have their habitat on Neptune and work with the 6th principle in the solar system. They take physical form animated by purified desire controlled by mind, and are the dispensers of love wisdom on the various planets. Thus the words Hall of Wisdom describes a stage of consciousness, not a location. 5 permanent atoms, the physical, astral, mental, Buddhic and Atmic. 1. The lords of certain subplanes who work under the Raja Lord of a plane and who are themselves vibration and activity. A. The lesser heavenly men on the Buddhic level, who reflect their higher prototypes on the 2nd plane of the system. B. The entities who are the sum total of group consciousness on egoic levels, differentiated and formed of aggregates of 7, until 49 groups of 7 egoic vehicles form one group, which is the body of this lesser solar deity. C. The entities who are the sum total of the vegetable kingdom in its diversity of manifestation in different schemes, chains and globes. F. 6 permanent atoms, physical, astral, 2 mental, Buddhic and Atmic, man. End of chapter 11.